Well, hello everyone.
Hello, everybody, one and all.
I'm
Welcome
Dave.
I'm Jeff. This is the Two Half Squads podcast. Next to Joe Rogan's podcast, it is the most popular podcast on the internet.
Indeed.
And now with the difficulties that Joe Rogan is going through, I think we're the biggest now.
We are.
Not difficulties, but there's stuff going on.
No difficulties.
Yeah. Not when you're making $1 million every hour or whatever he's making. We make almost that, pretty close.
We do.
But this is still, we're coming up on our 14th year, our 14th anniversary, the one and only podcast dedicated to the greatest game in the world.
Jeff, do you know what number show this is?
290?
290.
Yeah, 290. Not 290, but 290.
Yeah. Don't want to dwell too much on this, but wasn't it just 200 a little while ago?
Yeah. Well, let's see. It was
Remember, we were like, are we going to
about
keep
90
going?
episodes ago. Yeah, we were wondering. We wondered that at 100, should we keep going?
You did then. I was still going then.
Yeah.
This time I was like,
And most people agree we should not continue. So, but we did anyway.
If we have to suffer in our lives, everyone else should suffer too.
Yeah, that's right. And this is the show. It's a madcap, fun-filled hour of quips and tips, puns and guns, comedy and strategy.
Indeed.
So here we go. It's good to see you, Dave. How are you?
Good to see you.
I
finally got the bed out of the guest bedroom. Expecting my gaming table, which is going to be about a year late. 9 months late.
So now guests have to sleep on the gaming table. Is that it?
Up in the kids' rooms because all the kids have left now, except one. So push the mattresses up the steps down here myself. I almost called you. Remember bringing down your gym equipment to the basement?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, Jeff owes me. He got to come help me get this thing. So I got it up just the 5 steps, but it was the mattress was kind of tough. I would lift it at the front up a step and then try and grab it from the back and push, and it would fall back down. And then I made it. And then Megan came tonight and we took it up to the boys' room, and it's temporarily stored there until we figure out where we can donate it or whatever. So anyway, looking forward to getting a gaming table someday and making a little room here. Got room to move a shelf in there.
Well, is that where the gaming table is going to go?
No, it's staying here.
Yeah, it'll be in the main room.
Yeah, so then this table goes out. And this table is the Matier's, our friend's kitchen table that I took over here.
Well, they might want that back.
They changed their decorating, all the trends come back into style. So
yeah. Yeah, and thrifting is very in now. People aren't buying new stuff anymore.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that. I'm sure they are, but thrifting is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And how are you?
I am well. I went to the doctor the other day and saw the doctor. And more importantly, he saw me. And I got a glowing report, which is always nice. So I'm good for another 6 months. I'm feeling good about that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I need to start smoking and drinking and chewing tobacco or something.
No, you don't.
To celebrate.
I watched all that jazz with Megan. I had to fast forward through some nudity. That's
the best part.
She would laugh. I'm like,
oh yeah.
But I love that movie. It's a little over the top, people say, with Bob Fosse, but it's about him living that lifestyle. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He'd wake up, take the amphetamines, Alka-Seltzer, look in the mirror, showtime, folks.
Yeah, eye drops. Yeah.
Yeah. And they ran that little motif like over and over.
Yeah.
And of course, he's just deteriorating through the. So don't go back to that lifestyle.
Okay. All right. But he sure does. He makes it look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like watching all the shows where there's always lots of alcohol flowing. It looks so good.
But it's not.
Okay.
I'm just drinking tea.
Oh, good man. Yeah, I'm drinking vitamin C water. Not seawater, but vitamin C.
Not salty.
No, water.
Here's to your good report. Cheers.
Yes, thank you. Ta-da.
Link and drink.
Clink
healthy
and drink.
stuff.
Yeah, we gotta remember that.
Well,
So here we are. We're moving into spring, and pretty soon, I think, Dave, you and I are going to get back and do some live face-to-face gaming.
yep, pretty soon.
I think it's time.
Yeah. Well, we're doing our Star Wars role play.
Yeah. But time to get
ASL.
back and do some ASL. Feeling it.
Yes, because you've been in outer space for a while.
Yeah.
Empires and what is it?
And with my basement here, kind of my office has sort of expanded onto the gaming table. I feel kind of bad about that. So I have 4 monitors and 3 computers on the gaming table, and then 2 more computers and 5 monitors over on my main desk.
Yeah, you'll have
It's
to.
getting a little out of hand. So I need to get some serious
Yeah.
rearranging done here and get ready
Sure.
for some ASL.
Well, shall we jump into some letters?
Let's do. It's been a while since we have had them, and so let's play the opening song.
Do our head dancing. That means it's time for letters.
Oh, let me.
I think I have a letter.
Oh, I was going to share my screen, but I can't.
You may.
Yeah,
Oh,
turned it off. No, you don't trust me.
I do. No, I don't. Shall I make you host?
That's okay. It's all right. But Adam is looking very young in this video.
He is. I have a letter. Oh, actually, we had a Rally Well contest, Jeff. I'm not even sure you knew because I put it on the YouTube video. I don't remember where, but it said, hey, send us an email with Rally Well in the subject line, and you can win Rally Point Volume 13. Yanks Are Coming, donated to us by Matt Zajac. Thank you, Matt, for that donation.
Matt. Thanks very much.
And the winner was Richard Blasco.
Yay, Richard.
So I sent that off to him a while back, and just let you never know where the contest is going to appear. Maybe it'll appear on the screen below me on the YouTube. Maybe it'll be announced somewhere else. Who knows? And I have a comment from Andrew Stewart, who said, top interview, referring to the Mr. Swan interview. And he said, so much fascinating future product coming up. Yep. Thanks, Mr. Swan, for that great interview.
That was a very good interview. I've got a letter here from Grumble Jones, who says, Jeff, I would recommend the DVD series for The Gallant Men. I was saying that I've been on my treadmill and I'm looking for something to watch. So he's recommending The Gallant Men, which follows an infantry company during the Italian campaign. I was recently on an Italian food campaign. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah. Trying out all the pizza places within 20 minutes.
And you were in Italy a while back.
And I was, 2 years. It's been 2 years. 2 years since we got back. Anyway, he says, I believe the division is the 36th Texas Division. At least that's the patch they wear in the pilot episode. It's good stuff and available on Amazon. Personally, I enjoyed this series a bit more than Combat, but of course, both are great. And he goes on to say, Dave, sorry to hear about your mother. Prayers for you and your family. And Merry Christmas, guys. I guess we're just getting caught up with that. Thanks for another awesome year of podcast. Let's enjoy the holidays and vacation in a Russian village. Cheers.
Does he mean a Ukrainian village, soon to be Russian?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, if you're Russian in the bathroom and finish when you're done, where are you? Or what are you?
Should I answer correctly or say I don't know?
Do you remember correctly?
I do.
Yes.
European.
There you go.
European. Bum.
Well, Jeff, do you want?
Hold on. So does anybody, I'm just curious if anybody has heard of this show called The Gallant Men. I actually just looked it up on IMDb and it's not coming up. How can that be?
I do not know.
It's an international movie database. How could it not have Gallant Men on it?
I do not know.
So,
But do you want Victory at Sea DVDs?
no, I think I have them.
Okay, I'll donate mine. They're like $2 on eBay. You can't even sell them. So,
Yeah.
all right. Oh, you have a little more on your letter there?
Yeah, he says, YouTube, a YouTube watcher named Wardrobe says Combat would be a good one. You guys are great and so good looking. Oh, I guess this is separate from Grumble Jones's. Okay.
Yes.
We are good looking. And he goes on to say, I would love a tour of what's on your shelves.
And then I wrote, let's do that.
Yeah, we should do that.
Not today though.
Not today.
I just worry people will want to come steal all my gaming stuff if I show everyone.
Yes,
Probably a silly thought though.
including me. But if you keep that bed, keep the mattress on the stairway as a blockade.
Yes, that'll help.
Keep them from coming down.
Do we have a voicemail from someone?
We do have a voicemail from Michael Sprague. Let's listen.
Hi guys, Mike Sprague from the Yankee ASL group here. Just wanted to drop you a note that hopefully you can hear on the show soon. The 26th annual Nor'easter tournament is March 24th to March 27th in Fairhaven, Mass. I know it's kind of far for you guys, but maybe someday you can join us. As of this call, there's about 2 months to go, but there's plenty of room. So if you're interested at all, please head over to yankeegamers.org and you can check it out and sign up. Or you can visit our Facebook group, which is ASL Nor'easter. So this year we have our usual 5-round tournament, main tournament, and the scenarios are already been published for that up on the website. We're gonna have a Friday and Saturday mini tournament as well, which will be published on those scenarios soon. And we're gonna be starter kit friendly as usual, with our professor Mitch Abrams is gonna be available on Saturday to help match up players, do training, any kind of topics people are interested in. Or for Friday and Sunday, myself or Carl can match people up just as well. So if you're interested at all, or you just want to check things out, please go to yankeegamers.org and give us a shout or sign up. Thanks again for the great podcast, guys, and roll well, and I'll hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right. Someday,
Okay.
Jeff, we will. But everyone else, you all got to go now. Go this year.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for that. And hope you have a really good turnout this year.
Yes, I have a comment from Hexes and Soldiers. He said, I think Dave drank too much holiday nog.
I think so too.
That was because of my singing. I sang the song as the Irish guy.
I loved that. That was a very good performance.
So that's what at first I thought, I wasn't even drinking. Like, I haven't drank on the show in like a long time. What is he referring to? And I figured out it's the song. So also, I would like to thank Gordon, Mullick, Francisco, Jay Wallace, and Dan Young for subscribing to us on YouTube. And Gordon for also supporting us on Patreon. Thank you.
We love those Patreon supporters. I mean, we love everybody, but especially our Patreon supporters. So when it gets down to it, and like we've got the boat and the flood is there, and we're allowing people onto the boat, the Patreon supporters get on first.
Yes, that's fair enough.
It's just the way it is. And we would like to thank Nathan, Greg, and Lee Miller for their donations.
Oh, thank you also. I think all on Patreon.
Yeah. And then Mark Drake wrote to say, I pulled up your podcast tonight while doing housework and discovered where y'all talked about my Saving Private Ryan scenario. Glad to hear somebody played it, and even more importantly, had fun with it. Thanks for trying it and giving it some airtime. Been a while since I tuned in, so I was overjoyed to hear y'all discussing it. The scenario can also be found online at my Tactical Gaming website, and we'll put a link in the show notes for this, Dave.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work on the podcast, as it is the only one I ever listen to, and Happy New Year.
Indeed. Yes. Or actually, I think the link is on the show. Well, if it's not there, folks, check the previous show where we discussed the Private Ryan.
Okay.
Or I'll do it. I'll try and do it again.
Yeah.
Indeed. I have a comment from John Payne who said, great fun, guys. I was willing to let your hatred for the lost cat slide, Jeff. But when you guys described Dick Van Dyke killing the bird lady in Mary Poppins, I had a traumatic moment. So we're very sorry about that, John.
Yes.
Later, he says, you mentioned a hero cannot change the covered arc of a gun because he's not a superhero. Now, if a hero rolls a subsequent heat of battle and gets another heroic result, do they become a superhero? Quiz show, Jeff, yes or no?
I'm going to say no.
That's correct.
There are no superheroes in ASL.
And Dave Crater recommended that I paint a snow tiger when I was showing my winter minis. You remember?
Yeah.
He loved my minis, so thanks, Dave. And I think the snow tiger is a brilliant idea.
I can't believe you don't have one.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't think of that. I got a white fox. I got a white little rabbits. I've got the snow owlbears and things, but
Yeah, you should paint that before all the snow tigers are gone because of climate change.
oh yeah. Yeah, and we don't mean a tiger tank, right? Paint a white, like winter camo tank.
No, but that's not a bad idea. You could do that too. I've got a letter here from Kenny Smith who said he's trying to obtain a copy of infantry drills from the old ASL web index.
Oh, so if anyone knows where we can find that, let us know and we'll share the information.
Infantry drills, you know what that is?
No, I think it might have been that early step-by-step guide to something from the old ASL web index, but if anyone knows.
Okay. And Tim Smith wrote and said, thank you very much for the new link to the Spilky charts. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of requests from the Spilky charts. I've got to figure out how to update that link to point to the latest version of those. I just started listening to the podcast, listened to the last one, and then started at number 1. I'm really enjoying it.
Ooh.
I've played war games since the 70s and played Squad Leader and its gamettes for years. When ASL came out, I got the whole set of rules, Binder, Beyond Valor, and was too intimidated, so I never played it. Lost it somewhere, and now with MMP republishing and all this support available, I'm starting up again. Just ordered my starter kit 1, should have it by Tuesday. Thanks for supporting the game and its players.
Welcome. Welcome
That's
back
nice.
back to the fold.
Yeah. Lucky Tim. He's got a lot of good listening ahead of him.
He said he started over again. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I have one from Lanceman. He said, enjoyed the show. Keep up the good work. I'm back in the Philippines now. Do you know of any opponents in the archipelago? So archipelago? What are you laughing about?
Nothing. Nothing.
Archipelago? Pelago? We do. We need your permission, people, there to pass on your email. So email us, and certainly there's other people like Hong Kong Wargamer around. So
Yeah.
let us know, folks, if you'd like us to pass on your information to Dave, from Lanceman, who is now in the Philippines. And this was posted on the YouTube show, so notes, corrections for us. So 20 minutes and 20 seconds in, he says, you said a berserk result on a heat of battle is changed to battle hardening for a unit in a pillbox. This only applies to the Japanese. And I thought, no way. And I double checked him. And of course, guess who's right, Jeff? Me or him?
Him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think it's great that people are listening closely enough to catch these things and then kind enough to send us a correction.
You bet.
Really
and
good.
Post it right there. You could post it on the podcast page, or you can post it on the YouTube page. And also at 25 minutes and 20 seconds in, morale level ceiling is 10. I was saying, like, if your morale's a 9 and you are fanatic, and then you're something, you might be higher than a 10. So you can't be. I guess it hasn't come up in a long time, and I forgot. It's a ceiling limit. Except for like in Spinal Tap, they go up to 11.
Right. And I'm sure people have heard us I'm sure we've said it many times, but if you want to really learn the rules to ASL, you should not be just consulting with the 2 half squads.
No.
So if you go to a tournament and somebody keeps challenging you on everything you do and you keep telling them you learned it from the 2 half squads, that's on you.
Mhm.
We wash our hands. We take no responsibility for the presentation of anything on this show.
We have warned you.
Yeah. So be it. So it is written. So let it be done. Let's see, we have an announcement from
Oh,
Mr.
you'll have,
Goldman.
you'll have to find that in our mailbox. I'll cut this out while you.
Here we go. This just in from David Goldman. Please consider the environment when printing this material. No, that can't be it. I assume
it's-
there's an announcement. Oh, this must be it.
Oh,
here
it's
we go.
2 unopened emails. I
Yeah.
didn't know. I didn't even open it.
Willkommen in Chicago, the 2022 EASL Open, which starts Monday, March 14th. Each Monday, new matchups will be emailed. So this is an all online event.
Why it's an EASL.
That's right. So anybody can participate anywhere in the world.
That's right.
Assuming your electrons travel at the speed of light, it'll just be like being there.
He wants you for the EASL Open.
That's right. The the ASL Open is a 6-round tournament, 1 round each week. March 21st and April 11th are 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's got to be stretched out.
Yeah.
To give people time to play.
And there's
Online.
possibly a 7th round if there's more than 64 participants. The fee is steep, $5.
5. And the phi comes before the E5 foe and the fum.
Yes.
Get it?
And you have been drinking, haven't you?
No.
Fee is $5.
It's
All
tea.
registration fees will be given out as prizes. $100 to first place, $50 to second place, $25 to third place, $10 to fourth, as long as the money lasts.
Wow. It's kind of like those kids who make like a lot of money playing those online video games and tournaments and stuff. Now you can make like $500,000 winning the ASL tourneys.
That's right. So there's a form, and or you could just email Frango1000, FRANGO 1000 at sbcglobal.net. And I believe we can put a link to the website.
Yes. And we tweeted it out already also.
Yeah. So the ASL Open, a little sad that it's got to be that, but it makes sense this year.
Yeah, we can't get any interviews.
Yeah.
Well, Lee Miller says, I'm back for my 2nd time. My love-hate relationship with ASL continues, but not with you guys. So keep up what you're doing. And he says, Jeff, he's with you on take the lost animal signs down.
It's been long enough. Actually, the cat sign came down recently.
Oh, did it?
I think
I hope they found it.
I hope they did too, but it had been up for 3.5 months. And I think a plow took it out. We had some snow a couple of weeks ago, a decent amount of snow. And I think a plow took the sign down.
See that news reporter get hit by the car? That young lady?
No.
Yeah, that young lady. You can find it. I'm sure just Google it. But she claimed to be unhurt. She like boom, and then she got right out. And then she got up and was like, wow, a car just hit me. It just shows you the dangerous driving conditions. And then she kept going.
Really?
Yes. And then the guy's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah. The lady didn't mean it. It was an accident, I'm sure.
It's funny how that
crazy.
happens. Like if you're walking in a busy street and you trip and you fall and it's embarrassing. So you get up and you try to pretend like nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
But you're like your legs turned around backwards and your knee bends the wrong way, but everybody's like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And suddenly you're limping and then you collapse in a heap. But it's
Ah.
always that embarrassment that somehow you get up and keep going for a few steps anyway.
Yeah, I always say, I meant to do that.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Professional.
Jeff, you can see I updated the pictures. I told you,
Other side.
should have closed my door. Yeah, this one and this, my head's in the way. This one and this one used to have a white border around them, like,
Yeah, for those of you
That
who are listening and not watching, Dave is tying himself up in knots, trying to point to the pictures behind him.
you can always go both ways to find the wizard. So
His
look,
Lord of the Rings pictures, his
it's
brother's Hildebrand.
yeah, I got them back up and I improved them thanks to you for that gift of that Hildebrand book.
Yeah.
Well,
welcome.
not all mail comes in the email. I got a package, Jeff, free
A
for
package.
you.
David got a package. Look, Merry belated Christmas, 2 half squads. What
Yeah.
could it be, Dave? Do you know what it is?
Ticking. It's from Dennis Donovan.
Oh, Dennis,
So it's
You are-
probably
one of our longest, greatest supporters,
this. Oh, I gotta be careful with this.
along with Rich Spilkey
Oh, no, guess what?
and Tyson.
Remember? Hey,
Well, what is it?
well, remember talking on the show
Oh, Butterfingers,
what we wanted for Christmas?
candy bars. Oh, and Peter Paul Mound's candy bars. That's upside down and backwards and off screen. But other than that, it looks great. Oh, it's an
I
almond
think
joy.
you said you wanted almond joys,
Yeah, I think I did.
and I wanted fingers. This is the
So-
greatest day of our life, isn't it?
Free candy.
And another dice tower to
Oh,
go
a
with the
beautiful
one
di-
Dave Timonen gave me. Now we have 2, so we each can use our own dice tower, unless you want to take this one to your house. Well, then we have to play there. I'll have to bring Dave Timonen's over. Did you know he got me this dice tower?
I did.
We had to
yeah,
talk
very
about
nice.
it on the
Very
air
nice.
'cause-
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice. That's a lovely dice tower. Well, thank you, Dennis Donovan, for that very kind thing.
Can't beat that. Yeah.
Yeah, really. Nothing says I love you like gifts.
Speaking of, oh shoot, I think his name was his name I'll put here on the YouTube. Donated
I'm sorry, donated what?
Prokovorka,
Oh,
the new game.
yes.
And we'll get to that in a future show.
Okay.
And of course, our sponsor, Bounding Fire Productions.
Thank you, Bounding Fire Productions, for your continued support of this podcast and for making great products.
Indeed. And keeping us supplied with ASL goodies.
Yeah.
Like
Such as Operation Neptune.
Operation Neptune.
Yeah. That's perfect.
What's-
So I can't see it at all.
What's in the box though, Jeff?
Yeah. There it is.
Well, what is in the box? Don't you have a box?
Well, what's in the box? Are we going right into what's in the box?
I think so.
What's in the box?
Excellent.
What's in the box? There we go. Got to get the proper effect. So, and we are very happy to have a recent contribution from our friends at Bounding Fire Productions. Go to boundingfireproductions.com, everybody, and buy stuff. Even if you don't play ASL, you should go there and buy stuff simply because it's fun. That looks really good, Dave. Dave's got a Operation Neptune background on his as we're doing our Zoom conference call here. So they sent us a copy of Operation Neptune. This just came out, didn't it, Dave?
Fantastic. Absolutely did. You can get that for $60 at the Bounding Fire website.
Tell them the 2 half squad sent you, and it'll just mean a lot to somebody somewhere. And it's $60 for the United States and 85, did you say, for
Overseas.
overseas? Okay.
Mhm.
So, and what's in the box of Operation Neptune, Dave? What can you tell us?
Well, I know there's a map board because I had it up behind me earlier.
Yeah, so Operation Neptune is this historical scenario and campaign games, scenarios and campaign games covering this particular action later in the war, where the British are crossing the Seine River, chasing down the, yes, your hair looks great.
Okay, good, thanks. Just checking.
British crossing of the Seine River, chasing the Germans. And it comes with, did you find the list of what it all comes with?
Well, I certainly did. You know, Mike Rizzi was telling us there was a PDF version of this somewhere
He did say that, yeah.
from Dave Lamb, who made the thing. I never heard of that one. Maybe when he's on next, he can show us something from it.
Yeah.
But this, I think this is the product made into an official with quality, everything here from Bounding Fire. There also was a Operation Neptune published from Critical Hit. It is it was made by Andrew Saunders and Nigel Brown, and it had overlays and was kind of the same action here. So that's a little history of that.
So apparently there's enough interest and the situation is interesting enough for Bounding Fire to come out with this new product. And it looks beautiful. So it comes with a very nice map, which I'm showing here visually. This is not your typical 22 by 36 inch map. This is more, I'm going to say 30 inches square, probably something like that, with the Seine River running through it. I assume that's the Seine River.
Yeah, I like that river more than the Insane River.
Yes. You're insane. Yeah, I'm over that joke.
I just made it up. Have you ever heard it before?
Not since third grade.
But I just
but
made
it-
it up for real. Well, I can tell you what you get here is you get that gorgeous map.
Yeah.
And 10 scenarios, which I'll review in detail in a moment. 90 full color die cut counters, which seems like a whole lot, but really it's like a half sheet of counters. It said 90. I'm like, oh, we don't have them all. 32 full color 5/8 inch counters and that map and the rules that describe the map terrain. And is it a campaign game, Jeff?
It is there is a campaign game that comes along with.
Excellent. And a chart you're going to show us. Yeah.
Yeah, so what we have is the cover sheet, some instructions. I should say there's some rule sections here that just cover some things like go into some detail on the slope hex sides. So there's up slopes and down slopes, which give you various advantages of lines of sight and so forth like that. Not a lot of extra rules in this. It's just the up and down slopes and then some talk about combination hexes. So there are some hexes that'll have, for instance, a road and a railroad and a building in it, for instance, and just how you deal with those particular instances, which are a little unusual. You don't see those on the geomorphic boards, but on this historical map, you will see those for historical accuracy. And then, so just a few things like that, and then some details about how the campaign game progresses and how you do the refit phase and all that stuff. There's some extra not charts, but sheets for keeping track of your campaign game reinforcements, for tracking those. For those people that like to do paperwork, you're going to love this. And then some purchasing sheets for buying the different options of, you get purchase points between each refit phase, et cetera, et cetera. So every game can be different just depending on what you buy. Personally, I always like to buy the flamethrowers. I don't know if there's any flamethrowers in here, but if there are, that's all I would buy. I would just buy all flamethrowers.
I don't think
'Cause I
there
like
were, but
flamethrowers. There probably weren't any, but
you do like to burn things.
I do. Yeah, and that's it. That's what's in the box. And
And
the map
this,
is really cool. I think the map is cool because you can see
Yeah.
over Dave's shoulder if you're watching this. Both of the bridges that cross the Seine are
yeah, I
out.
don't, yeah, this one's broken up a bit here.
Yeah, and you cannot cross.
I think there was something about scaling the bridges. I'll have to double check that.
Okay.
And then is that the railroad bridge? Can you look at your map again? Is that?
So, yes, that's the railroad bridge that's broken. And then there's another bridge that is also broken, but it is spanned by a footbridge. So there's a road bridge, but it's broken, but you can get across with infantry. You
Yeah, I
just
think
can't get any vehicles across.
Yeah, so if we look at the counters, I have those. I have the counters, which are nice little set. You got your allied control hexes,
Mhm.
markers, and also, of course, on the and you have the directional markers, and on the back are the opposite, allied
For the
and
axis.
axis.
Mhm.
Lots of those. My particular favorite is always the turn counter when it's unique. This is unique, and I guess this is probably the insignia of the German units there. Red lion.
Yeah, must be. I don't have any of
know,
this.
Yeah, probably the same. This CVP markers, I don't know. Once we'll get into the rules, revisit this product. Maybe interview Dave Lamb if you're listening, Dave. That will be cool. The act counters and the footbridge, I'm imagining. Okay, now as you're going to see when we get into the scenarios in detail, you're going to find lots of scenarios with the bridges and some water vehicles.
Okay, for crossing the river.
Yeah, and then they gave us some moon markers. I don't know if these are unique. Full moon, no moon, scattered clouds, no clouds. There were some of these in like the original Squad Leader stuff. I thought, or
right.
maybe there was just one marker you moved along a. I don't know. We just write it
Yeah,
on. a piece of
actually, I
paper.
don't remember seeing moon markers in any of the stuff that I have.
Yeah, maybe not. And then the weather cleared. I know there's weather counters in the set, in the original sets. Which are great because they remind you what the rules are for like the mists +1 each 6 range, and so on. And there's these pontoon rafts that are on the back of these assault boats. We'll be wrapping up with a look at the scenarios that I recorded, and
Let's hear what you have to say.
hey, thanks guys. Taking a look here at Operation Neptune, the scenarios, ON1, designed by our good friend Steve Swan. It takes place in Vernon, France, the 19th, 1944 of August 19th. And that is going to be a partisan action by our friend here, the partisan dude. Okay, he's going to be helping us out here. And the first one is freedom. There's our little partisan friends again. And this one's get a little action. A couple of trucks. Some truck drivers are not in the vehicles yet at start. They're in the buildings or something. And you got these 5 German conscripts. This is a little action where the partisans kind of rise up and get ready to do some fighting. The Free French of the Interior partisans here. You got 7 of them and a couple DCs, which special rules we want to look at here are the trucks, the drivers start, the buildings have to be recovered, like picking up a support weapon. The partisans have Molotovs, always fun. And the DCs represent anti-tank magnetic mines, can only be used as such. And hand-to-hand may be declared by the French and the partisans, and the armored fighting vehicles have mechanical ability, reliability problems. And the Germans want to exit and score more victory points than the French forces. Take a look at number 2 and Wet Feet, Operation Neptune number 2, designed by Dave Lamb. And you can see that's going to be a crossing on assault boats by the British. This force crosses the river. I think there's 9 first line squads and 9 assault boats. And then there's some dude shooting from across the river there. 2 Cromwells and a Sherman. The 76 LL gun is that the Firefly, an 81 mortar too, so that's good fun. And a little cruise kind of firing back some machine guns. And then the Germans got some foxholes, some kind of modified tunnels, some wire, AA guns, and reinforcements, conscripts, first lines, you know, mix of German troops, 2 medium machine guns, and few reinforcements come darting on the board in turn 3. So you want to practice your naval boat crossings. Then you want to play ON2. To win, the British have to take some hexes on the other side there and clear some Germans from around one of those hexes played on this part of the map. ON3 is stuck duck. So Stuck Ducks is entitled this. It's also by Dave Lamb. The Germans again are defending the river, and the British are trying to come across here in ducks, but the ducks can't make it, and they get stuck and mired. And so then they go back to the South Bank, and they transfer to these assault boats. Is what the history of the story is. There's a destroyed bridge that crosses here, and some troops could try and cross there, scaling the bridge and so on. And so again, you got a couple Cromwells, a couple big mortars, and this force, Middlesex 8th, setting up there, and then the 8 squads trying to cross against the Germans. Similarly with trench foxholes, wires, these tunnels, a pillbox, big mortar, and the AA guns. And they also need to cross over there and clear the area around hex 020, an area like 4 or 5 hexes around it. So they're going to have to be very productive there to win this scenario. 0-3, Stuck Ducks. And I think I have the correct photo here behind me for you people watching on YouTube, but the bridge is collapsed. You can see it can kind of still be crossed there where they can scale the building. There's the tower on the church over there. Very cool. You guys can Google that at home also to have a look at these pictures. And then this little action here, 0-4, Valiant Sacrifice, is going to have this little force of British with foxhole and 3 squads and a half leaders and whatnot going over to a building, a house 200 meters from the bank, and digging in, and then a counterattack with some Germans, just little 6 squads, got a little quick infantry action, 3.5 turns. And to win, the Germans to win, the Germans have to have no unbroken British multi-man counter honor adjacent to hex S22 and can't lose like 8 combat victory points doing so. And then it is a night game, so you want to have a quick little battle to practice the night rules. You could do that. British have ammo shortage, kind of captures the flavor of this scenario. 0-5, also by David Lamb, sweeping east. It's going to take, you can see there's a couple of boats here, but going to take place clearing out this area. The Germans setting up north there of the river with a mismatch of squad types and Couple big guns, foxholes, a lot of trenches, a lot of foxholes, tunnels, minefields. Couple squads reinforcements come on with some very lightly armored. What are these martyrs? Martyr and a PZA 2, but with big guns but with low ammo on them. And the British with a lot of squads, well over a dozen, good leadership, and 80 millimeter OBA, high explosives and smoke with plentiful ammo. Germans do get some hip for their one squad. Guns cannot set up hip in this one. So 7 turns, and they have to clear out the woods area. ON5 sweeping east, also making sure there's no like big guns or support weapons with normal range, having a line of sight back down to the bridge area on the river. ON5 sweeping east. ON6 sweeping west now is going to be this part of the board over here on the left side of the big historical map. And the British are going to win by controlling greater than or equal to 26 stone buildings or rubble north of the Seine out of 28. And some of the following hexes in the area. Same kind of a mix of conscripts, first line, second line, Germans, machine guns, little mortars. Shrek is nice. Lots of foxholes, again, trenches, wire, 12 mine factors, some big guns and infantry AA8, and 2 turns of air support that can come in to the game also. This time, the British got about 16 plus squads crossing over there. The artillery is 100 millimeter in this one, and the smoke and high explosives. Some reinforcements enter turn 1. Yeah, I got a lot of different little vehicles here. The British have the carrier, it's gonna be towing a AT gun, the Humbar, Cromwell's the big mortar, and the stuff that's usually across, south of the river again. So having some fire support, and then the troops coming across, sweeping to the west. So we've already gone sweeping east, sweeping west. What about the north area of the board? So sweeping north, ON7 again by Dave Lamb. No, Brian Martussis. We interviewed him also. So you have a very small little group of a couple of half squad, a crew, a heavy, and two AA guns, 2 crews held up here on level 3 hexes, which are way up, back up in here. And then you have a hip group, 2 squads, basically machine gun mortar, and then some entering on turn 2 from the north edge. The British want to, with 10.5 squads, light machine guns, mortar, a medium, and 7 turns, come on across, setting up on the, well, it's kind of the east side of this road, and then have to push in and take the north upper hill slope woods area back of the board. So very small defenders, big attackers, 10 squads, but some distance to cross. Interesting thing about this scenario is the British can choose to mark up to 2 51 millimeter mortars as smoke depleted instead of making a special ammo die roll. But in exchange for that, a smoke counter may be automatically placed in the line of sight and range of the mortar. No die rolls made, and the mortar's marked with a prep fire. So in exchange for giving up smoke options later, you can choose to automatically get a smoke where you think you need it most. I think those kind of rules are kind of nice. Otherwise, no special rules. Jeff will love that one. Sweeping north, ON7. Taking a look at ON8, below too late. This one by Rick Reinisch leaves the board that comes with the game and goes back to standard ASL boards 83 and 81. They're the two mountain boards that get placed across like this. So you have a valley, and then the special rule, unfortunately, it has the both boards. Well, the hill hexes basically are all wooded, so it's probably easy to do that in your mind. So the situation is the Germans are trying to cross from east, I think, to west and get over to the city of Vernon or Vernonnet in France, there where those bridges are on the big map that comes with the game. And they have to exit 20 points off, and they enter with quite the advantage. They got a couple of Tigers here, the 88 L guns. Well, this other group enters turn 5, so actually they only start with one of those big tanks and 10 squads against 9, 10 British squads, but just with some carriers. The historical note says that the British AT guns did knock out that Tiger, but reinforcements are coming for the British. Turn 6 here, entering on the west edge of 81, and turn 8, right near the end. So it's a 10-turn game, a lot of turns, but not a whole lot of units to be moving in terms of density, counter density. So it's probably a game of how quickly do the Germans push this to try to get off these 20 points before more British arrive. Wrapping up here, ON9, an unexpected complication that actually occurs to me with the victory conditions, which are, you got, okay, first of all, we're not on the big map anymore. You have board 1B and 4B. Looks like a little Riley Road thing going there, but it's not really. And you've got the Germans entering over on the west edge. North of the, north of the stream here, and trying to exit toward the east. They win if they get 6 victory points, and a victory point is an exit victory point of good order German infantry plus 1 victory point for each vehicle with a functioning main armament, or AFE, functioning main armament. So the scoring points are a little different than normal for the exit victory points. But then the Germans start off with 16 squads, the usual stuff there, mortars, Shreks, light machine guns, and some tanks, some smaller tanks, Martyr, flat gun, AA gun, mortar, infantry gun. They're trying to exit. So the complication comes in with the rule for the British. They have a main group that is setting up on the board and then entering some reinforcements, which has, just for fun, the Staghound, the 12.7 main armament, and it's kind of a unique vehicle, and the Humber, our AEC and vehicles coming on. Not exactly funny, but different. But the way that group enters is based off of this special scenario rule. This group enters whichever occurs first, turn 5 or the next British player turn after the Germans accumulate greater than or equal to 16 victory points. And a victory point for this rule is different than the victory points for the exit conditions up above. So for example, the victory point is for controlling aboard 4B buildings, and then combat victory points plus exit victory points of good order German squads, and the vehicle thing on board 4B. Well, if they're in board 4 be in hexes numbered greater than or equal to 11. So anyway, just a little bit tricky to be tracking that and breaking it up from the normal big board that you get with Operation Neptune. Next up is ON10. ON10 Chateau of Death. Picture of the chateau, I suppose. The scenario by Dave Lamb is as the forces have moved well past the river crossing now. It's 27th of August by this time. So all these happen pretty much between the 19th and the 27th of August, most of them on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. And you have some German units that are set up on the board. It's like 10 of them, the usual support weapons and a martyr and some half tracks. And to win, the Germans win by controlling all buildings adjacent to K8. And this is a section on board 7A. I don't think I've ever played anything on 7A yet. And it has some buildings down in this area here, which is like the chateau area, I'm presuming. And the British move first. They set up on board and come at them. They get reinforcements of carriers on turn 2 on the north edge. And they're not also carriers, but these are Humber and AEC. Again, as in the last scenario, entering from the west edge on turn 4. The after action report says that those little vehicles helped a lot in turning the tide, and very well they could have, I suppose. So Chateau of Death, Germans need to hang on there, controlling all buildings adjacent to K8 from the attacking British forces. And those are the scenarios of Operation Neptune. Operation Neptune looks like a good series of scenarios. I love the board. Got most of the scenarios happening on those boards. You've got a huge variety from, I'd say, medium to large to very small scenarios. You have one night you can do. You got a couple of boat crossings that you can do. How much fun is that? So there you go, the scenarios of Operation Neptune.
Well, that was brilliant, Dave.
Thank you.
Very well done.
I'm
Thanks
glad
for
you
taking
said.
us through those.
I'm glad you said that. I hate when I have to say it about myself.
About yourself,
own
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I'm used to hearing that from you, but
Yes. So that'll wrap us up then.
yeah, so great. That looks great. Everybody order Operation Neptune from Bounding Fire Productions. Let them know, show them some love. It's $60. Send them 100.
Yeah,
They'll
that's a good
appreciate it.
price.
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot of stuff. So
Until
hey,
then,
Dave, yeah, I guess that'll wrap it up for this time. Thanks
number
for
2,
thanks for being. Remember to roll low.
low and rally well,
Yes,
but
but
not when you're playing
us.
us.
Bye, everybody. Remember
Bye-bye,
when we
everyone.
used to do roll low and may the dice be with you?
Mm-hmm.
And I objected to that for some reason and changed it to rally well. There must be a reason.
You did.
Just being picky.
I think
I
it
did.
was too common in those years.
Maybe. Yeah,
Right?
maybe.
People had it for everything. Like,
Maybe I
may
was
the
just Star Wars weary.